If you could only meet Justin or Ellen, who would it be?
Oh.
Yeah, that's tough. Sophie's choice, as they say.
Oh. I mean, I've loved Justin longer. And I always tell people, I have a Twitter page, but I only follow my husband, Justin, and my best friend, Ellen.
Hello and welcome to the Inspired Woman Podcast. I'm Marcy Narum. This podcast is dedicated to impacting a multitude of women with its mission to celebrate, encourage, empower, educate, entertain, and connect women.
Hi, Jana.
Good morning.
Can I call you Jana?
You can call me Jana.
I was wondering, what is it like being Miss Sparkles walking around Bismarck? Because you are a celebrity of the Bismarck Library.
It is funny. I do hear, I hear a lot of whispers from little boys and girls being like, oh, that's Miss Sparkles. And adults come up to me and be like, I'm so sorry, I don't know your real name. And I'm always like, oh, it's Jana. Not many people do.
Even just today, as you were coming in the building, you may or may not know that, but someone in the building was like, is that Miss Sparkles? My wife loves her. My kids love her. How does that make you feel kind of hearing that reaction?
Oh, it's just wonderful. I am so lucky that I am so supported by the community, and it's always nice to hear Miss Sparkles because it makes you feel like people are aware of the library and story times, and it just is very heartwarming.
Now, when you don't want to be recognized, do you let that hair down? Literally, figuratively, everything?
Yes, I definitely rock my big poof at the library and my glasses, and when I'm not at work, I do let my hair down and put my contacts in and do feel like I look different than the library persona.
Get to go be Jana a little bit.
Get to go be Jana a little bit.
Well, it's been really fun learning how you came up with Miss Sparkles and just kind of your background and what a colorful background you've had with going to college. I know we're going to talk a little bit about that later, but really quickly, just go through some of your education and how you landed here in Bismarck again.
Yes. Well, I'm originally from Bowman, North Dakota, but I moved to Bismarck in second grade. So I feel like Bismarck is where I was. And I moved around a lot, but came back and was a St. Mary's graduate, and then went to BSc for 2 years, and then transferred to Moorhead, where I got my teaching degree. And then I studied abroad. It was called Semester at Sea through the University of Pittsburgh for a semester. And I literally lived on a ship and traveled by ocean to 10 different countries and loved every second of it. I feel so blessed every day still that I got to experience that.
And you're, a world traveler, and yet you came back to us.
I'm
so
glad.
glad.
I got done with Semester at Sea, and I wasn't quite graduated college and wasn't quite ready to settle down. And so I just wanted to live in really fun places. So I moved to San Diego for a couple years and then decided I should live on the East Coast. So I moved to Boston for a couple years and then decided I wanted to be back on the beach. And so went to Fort Lauderdale. And then I decided that I should maybe come back home. So
come back to the
all
cold.
The stars aligned for it to work out that I came back home.
All right. And the cold, the winter, is it as tough as you remember growing up?
It is tough. I'm not going to lie. But of course, I just try to go somewhere warm every winter, and this is home.
Yeah, I love that. Something you said when we interviewed before that didn't get in the video but really stuck out to me was how you kind of moved around when you were younger.
Yes.
But you always had your friends in books.
Yes.
That is such a wonderful, example of what books can do for young people.
Yep.
And we have a similar favorite series when we were kids. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
The Babysitter's Club.
Yeah, so good.
Yes, they were my friends. I just got so excited every time I got a new book. I still have the entire series in paperback at my mom's house at the lake, and my nieces are starting to read them. I have girls come into the library wanting a series. I'm like, oh, when I was your age, loved the Babysitter's Club. They were my friends. I wanted to have my own club and my own phone with my own phone number so but Claudia,
Yeah.
they always met at Claudia's house. And so and they got to have snacks and junk food in the bag and they would pass it around. And I just really always wanted to have my own little hidden bag of chocolate in my room like they got to have. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
We sat in obviously and watched story time, which was so much fun. And I just have to bring up my personal story, which is that I have a child who's maybe a little too young to sit through story time like they're supposed to. How do you deal with the unruly children?
Yes. I always tell people it's organized chaos and it is very stimulating, and I do try to incorporate a lot of movement and a lot of song and a lot of dance. I do always try to say if they're having a hard time, step out and bring them back in because they learn after a few times that they want to be in there. And of course, like I do toddler story times and preschool story times and baby story times, and it's part of it is checking out your surroundings and checking out the other kids. And I'm very aware that, I'm up there singing and having a book, but the other kid next to them, they can crawl over or walk over, and that's part of the fun too. And so it really is. And granted, like I can usually tell if the book just isn't going to work. And so I just kind of shorten it and then we just get up, and sometimes we just jump the whole entire time, or we just shake our bottoms, and we, sometimes it's just more of a movement story time versus a sit down aspect of it.
You are so good at adapting to the crowd.
Well, thank you.
A true live performer. So, talking more about, Jana and your story, something that has really surprised me was that you have your own celebrity kind of fascination.
Oh my goodness. I do.
How did this come to be? Well, tell us who it is, and then
Yes.
how did this come to be?
I love Justin Timberlake. Love him. And when I was 7th, 8th grade, I loved watching the Mickey Mouse Club, Kids Incorporated. I really wanted to be on both those shows. And Justin Timberlake was my favorite way back when I was in 7th grade, and he was on the Mickey Mouse Club with his little curly hair.
Yep.
Yeah. And so when NSYNC came out, I was in high school, and of course Justin was my favorite and have always just loved him. And when I came back home after being gone for 10 years, I was 30 years old, and everybody, you start getting the Christmas cards and everybody's kind of getting settled. And so it turned into a funny joke that I should send out a Christmas card. And one of my closest friends is a graphic designer. And so we photoshopped me into Justin Timberlake, and I sent out in the actual mail a Christmas card with love from the Timberlakes. And it has now turned into many, many years, and the cards have gotten more elaborate. And as I bought my first home, we had to do one of our new house. And then when he actually got married for real, we photoshopped me into their wedding photo. So we were sister wives. And then when they had a baby, she was my surrogate mother. And it's kind of just turned into a really fun thing. And it's a little bit kooky, but I love it.
It is. It is so funny. And I did look you up on Facebook.
And
I
I'm
saw
married. Yeah, my name is Jana Maher Timberlake. Hyphenated.
You chose to keep.
Yep, got to keep the Maher. Yep.
Which I respect. Do you still crush on him like you did when you were younger? Or, has that faded at all as he's gotten older or anything like that?
I just really just love him and follow him. And of course I love Jessica Biel too. I was a big Seventh Heaven fan too. So,
you don't wish ill of her.
No, not at all. No.
Yes. And then you also love Ellen, which we talked about in your video too.
Yes, I also love Ellen DeGeneres. Mm-hmm. I watch her show every day and just laugh, and she makes my heart feel so good. And I, again, little kooky, but I send her for years now my Christmas cards, and I write a letter describing that I'm a children's librarian in Bismarck, and that I love her and I love Justin Timberlake, and that if there's ever a chance that I could meet him on her show, I would love to, and that I feel like she would appreciate my cards. And so I obviously send the cards to her. And then I always say too that I love Jeannie because she gets to go and surprise people, and that Jeannie might need a random Wednesday off, and I could be a really good understudy. And so I always put that in there too. And then I say, please don't have me arrested.
Right.
That I get that,
Just want to put that out there.
It's
this
all
is
in
not
fun.
a scary situation.
No.
This is just for fun.
Yes, it's all for fun.
I
Yes.
want to send them, after the video is on our Facebook page and stuff, we're going to have to try to get that to Ellen's people.
I know. And that's the thing. I always tell people, like, I snail mail it. I put one in the mail. I Facebook it. I email it. I'm like, I just need one person on her team to see it, because I feel like you just need one to see it. And I want to get on. I want to have Justin come out and surprise me.
Wouldn't that be great? If you could only meet Justin or Ellen, who would it be?
Oh.
Yeah, that's tough. Sophie's choice, as they say.
Oh. I mean, I've loved Justin longer. And I always tell people, I have a Twitter page, but I only follow my husband, Justin, and my best friend, Ellen.
Do you really?
Yes, they're the only
my
two people I
gosh.
follow.
That is so
Yep.
funny. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so you can't choose between them.
I know. I just feel like I can't. But if I had to, Justin, just because it's been since 1992.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, what would you do? I mean, truly, like, if you did get to meet him, what would you want to happen? What do you think would happen?
I know. I think that I can always talk, and I think I would just be like, I wouldn't know what to say. I think it would be the most quiet moment out of my mouth. I think that I would just literally be numb.
Yeah.
And then probably squeal. That would probably be the only reaction I would get. And then I'd be like, can I hug you?
Please.
Please.
One
Yes.
little hug.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope we can make it. I mean,
I know.
We need to get this to Ellen to somehow get this going. But
Yes.
aside from that, talking back about kind of who inspired you to be Miss Sparkles, and you are your own celebrity, truly. And you get a lot of hugs from kids.
I do.
So kind of like you would do to Justin if you could. But like talking back about the strong women who have inspired you. I really loved hearing the story about your grandma Betty, who was featured in Inspired Woman magazine.
Yes.
Tell us about her.
Oh, my grandma Betty and I have a very special relationship. And I just feel like I try to channel her in my everyday life. And she was a very strong, independent woman. She was very affectionate. So I feel like I get my affection from her, and we grew up in an affectionate family. She was a public health nurse for many, many years in Bowman, and traveled around to all the homes and would treat the children in Bowman County. And then she was the North Dakota executive director of nursing in North Dakota, and really just believed in public health care. And she was the one who was just believe in yourself and go and follow your dreams. And if you set a goal, go and do it. And so she just was my biggest fan, my biggest advocate, and just really was a special, special woman in my whole world.
And you have a little piece of her with you.
I
Right?
do. I wear her cross every day, and so special. She never took it off. And my grandfather gave it to her when she graduated at University of Mary with her bachelor's degree when she was in her 60s, which was a big goal of her. And so my grandpa gave it to her when she graduated college, and she never took it off. And then I have it with her handwriting, and she signed every letter, God bless Grandma Betty. And so I got that engraved, and I wear her cross and her handwriting on me. And I am so blessed that she wanted me to have this really special part of her that I can wear every day of my life.
Now, you were saying you think about her when you try to look at every kid in the story time, because she used to be like that, right?
Yes. I strive so hard to really create that personal relationship. And I try so hard to look at every child in the story room and really try to connect with each little boy and girl. And my grandma could work a room, and she just really would make each person just feel so special. And towards the end of her life, she couldn't see very well. She couldn't hear very well. And she would just go and grab your face and just look in your eyes. And she just really loved making every single person feel so special. And so I feel like I try to channel her with the boys and girls of story times in Bismarck. And when I go into the schools, I try really hard to remember boys and girls' names. Obviously, there's a lot of boys and girls that I can't remember them all, but I just really want them to feel unique. And I felt like my grandma was really good at that.
Oh, that's so like special. And having her handwriting, we were talking about handwriting, and that she wrote cursive. And you write cursive too?
No, I mean, I try to write I try to channel her and try to write a lot of written correspondence out to people. And I don't remember how to write cursive.
Yeah.
I can write my name in cursive, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
But my grandma was very big in making sure that she would write letters and thank you letters, and she was really good at that. And so I always try to be like, I'm going to be more like Grandma Betty. I'm going to try to write my letters.
Yeah. Who else has inspired you, in your life?
I have so many strong women in my life. My mom, Linda, is just so strong, so wonderful, raised us kids just to be good, kind people. My stepmom, Pam, is just so wonderful and good to me and my brothers. My little sister, Bailey, is just a phenomenally smart, educated woman, and I just wish I could be more like her because I just find her so delightful. And I have so many strong friendships. Like, I believe in friendships, and I have gotten through many things in life because I have friendships that I've had since high school, friendships from semester at sea that we still travel the world together and see each other every year. And I have really strong women that when I was younger, I looked up to, and I would I worked at a restaurant and I would serve them and would think, oh, someday I'm going to have a group of friends like that when I'm, older. And I remember going up to them and being like, one of these times I'm going to sit at this table.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm part of their crew now.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, remember when I would wait on you? And I'd be like, can't wait till I get to grow up and be part of you guys. And now I feel like I am. So I have so many different strong relationships and friendships. And I just feel like, I'm so lucky that I'm so blessed to have so many women to inspire me.
Yeah. Talking about serving
Yes.
and some of your past experience, I've been a server as well. How do you think being a bartender, server, has helped just in your life experience kind of teach you about things?
It teaches you so much. First, it teaches you the small talk. Like, how to be able to just greet people and be approachable and learn how to, go with the flow and the fast pacedness. It made it easy for me to move around a lot when I was moving to all these different places, because you can get a job at a bar or a restaurant, and when you're in your 20s, it's kind of harder to meet people. And so it was always a good way to meet people. But I think that it really just helps you learn how to interact with people. And I think that I'm a big thing I think everybody should learn how to be a restaurant bartender or server at some point in their life. Teaches you a lot.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually said, I think everyone, if they're going to eat out, should work at a restaurant first. And some people who I love very much will sometimes get upset. And I'm like, it's not the server's fault that came out wrong.
No.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But anyway, that's tough work.
It is hard, tough work, and really teaches you how to be in certain social situations. It really does build social character.
It really does. Yeah. So what else do you like to do? People think that you live at the library. Like, do you have any other hobbies, or what do you like to do, like, in your free time?
Yes, I love to spend time with my friends. I like to, go and I'm a big experience person. So I like to spend my money going out to eat and going to happy hour. I love to be outside. So my mom lives on a lake in Minnesota. And so I'm a big lake girl in the summertime. I love being on the river. If I could have my own pontoon or my own jet ski and be able to cruise around, that's, a goal. But I like being on the river, and I love movies, and I just pretty much anything social. Like I really like to be around a lot of people and love to travel and work. I always say, like, I work so I can go and travel.
Right.
So,
yeah. Which is so cool. And you have said that you have the gift of gab.
Yes, I'm a talker.
You're an extrovert.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like, where do you think that you got that from?
Grandma Betty. My big joke is that I went and visited them in my grandpa and grandma in California, and she would always be out in the hot tub, and she would just be talking to all the people out there, and that, like, she wouldn't even care that nobody's listening to her. She just would talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, oh, that's me.
Just need to talk to somebody.
I know, just need to talk. Yes.
What about like pop culture stuff? Like, what do you like for music, TV shows?
Yes.
Like, what kind of movies do you like? Stuff like that.
I like the chick lit pop culture type of stuff. I like the movies that make you feel good and the romantic comedies. I was just talking about, I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, and I felt like I was living in San Diego when Grey's first came out, and like it used to be on Sunday nights when it first started, and how when you live far away, Sundays are kind of the weekends winding down, and that's the time when, like, your family's having family dinner back home. But it was like I always had Sunday night Grey's Anatomy to look forward to, and so I think about how that's been part of my life for so long, and if they ever cancel that show, I feel like it'll be like a Babysitter's Club situation all over again, where like that's the end. What am I going to do?
Well, you can go back and rewatch it or reread them,
Exactly.
I guess.
Exactly.
But I stopped, just to cut in here, I stopped watching after Denny died.
Oh,
I was like, I'm done with
that's
this
been
show.
a lot of years.
I know that. I think it was like the second season or something, because I really, really liked it too. And I was so upset because I really liked him.
Yep. Well, and I thought I would stop after Derek died, but I couldn't.
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey.
Okay.
And I was boycotting it for a minute.
And then you're like,
I
back in.
was like, just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe I actually
Yeah.
stuck to my guns, but it's such a good show. And like right now, I feel like when I'm talking with my friends, we talk about what we're watching on Netflix, and like that is our conversation.
Yep.
And so it's so funny because like we're talking about the power of needing that connection and like conversations and maybe putting some of our devices down a little bit. But when I am having those conversations, the whole time we're talking about what we saw on Facebook or what we're watching.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I don't know what the healthy balance is
I know.
there, but
I know. And of course, like I have my sad ones like This Is Us and A Million Little Things, like my little sob fest. But that was kind of the last couple years, This Is Us, and then this last year, A Million Little Things. Like, and I don't know why I watch these shows that make me cry, but I still do.
yeah. But they're so human, and
They're
they just
so
make you
human.
feel, yeah.
Every episode you can relate to one of the characters in whatever they're going on with life. And then I'm a big reality TV show.
Ooh,
I mean, I
wanna
like
hear
my
about
Bravo.
Okay, I want to hear about that
Yeah.
because I'm a Bravo fan
Yep.
as well.
Yes.
What's your favorite?
Well, I watch all of the Housewives, and then I like Vanderpump Rules. And part of that is because I just grew up working in a restaurant and bar. So like I understand the drama that goes on.
The daily dramas.
The daily dramas that go on behind the scenes.
Was it like Vanderpump Rules where you worked?
No, but we're all still friends. I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of grew up, we all were friends and kind of went through our 20s together. So I mean,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Yeah. Southern Charm is
I
on
watched
right
Southern
now.
Charm, yep.
I'm big into that one.
Yep,
right
I just
now.
watched it last night. Got
It's
all caught up.
Weird because it makes me want to go to Charleston.
Right? I know.
Have you ever been there?
I have not.
Yeah.
No, but I thought the same thing. Like, gosh, that should be our next girls trip.
I know. So, if nothing else, these reality shows are maybe helping tourism in some cities.
Exactly. And I'm not going to lie. Like, there's some days too where I'm like, oh, watching that makes me feel just a little bit better about myself.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I know there's always like a little hint of that, like, okay,
Yeah.
my life isn't as
Yeah,
dramatic as
exactly,
I thought.
Exactly.
That's good.
Puts it in perspective.
Yeah. And we all need our little guilty pleasures. So
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I love, because I'm like, we're going to talk more about that show after we're done with this. We really like to talk about she believed she could, so that she did.
Yes.
That saying is so great for people who go after a dream or go after something that they were afraid of or didn't think they could do. And we'd like to know what comes to mind when you hear that.
Yes. Mine is definitely traveling, studying abroad, and just sending in my application and getting accepted. And I'll never forget getting on that airplane, flying off, knowing I was leaving the country for 4 months and not knowing a single person, and getting myself there and boarding a ship where you're leaving the country and you have to be like, hi, my name's Jana. Will you be my friend? And just that to me, like I still to this day, 17 years later, look back on it and be like, I can't believe I did that. That was really brave of me. And it impacted every next step of my life. And I'm here right now in Bismarck because of leaving and studying abroad on semester at sea.
And when people study abroad, sometimes it's like one semester, one country.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you all go?
This was 10 countries. And so you spend 5 to 7 days in each country. And so we traveled by water to Cuba and Brazil, South Africa, Mauritius, India, Singapore, Vietnam, Hong Kong, China, and Japan. And then we started in the Bahamas and then ended up back in Seattle. So like literally we would joke, like we circumnavigated the world. Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable, your bravery in just going for it.
Yeah.
And you didn't really do this with a friend.
Nope.
You made your friends while you were there.
I knew not one person when I left Bismarck on that airplane. And of course, like looking back on it, it was when you could go through security. And so I remember just like waving, being like, all right,
Yeah.
bye. Bye, Mom.
Yeah.
So see you in 4 months. And it was great. She flew to Seattle and was waiting for me to get off the ship, and which is really hard because you don't want it, like you're so sad when it's over. But it was great. She had a little sign for me when I got back. Yeah.
Now, 4 months isn't that long, or it doesn't sound that
No.
long, but you, I'm sure, imagine it returned home a completely different person.
Completely different person. Like everything is just, you see with a different perspective, and you're just so excited. And I just was so just ready to like, I'm going to change the world, and where am I going to go next? And was just really just had a lot of gumption to just really feel like I did that. Now I can do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I came back with. Yeah.
Do you kind of tell other people, or encourage others to go try to travel or go places?
Absolutely. I'm always just like, the one thing I would just really recommend is like, if you have the opportunity to travel outside of this country and just to go and meet the locals, ask them, where do you like to go? Like, I just love to go and have those personal connections with people and just, go to the local little places and just, conversate. It really is just, you learn so much about yourself. Mm-hmm. You learn so much about the world. And it's just, I think, like, that's probably one of the first things I always tell people, like, oh, if you can, like young people, go try to experience as much as you can. Mm-hmm. So.
And if you take a book, you'll have a friend in your book.
Exactly. If you take a book,
lonely.
you have your friends right with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. Well,
yes.
Thank you so much for talking with us. And I will be seeing you again at Storytime with my daughter as we probably walk out for a break because we can never get through the whole time. But anything else you'd like us to know about Miss Sparkles or Jana?
No, I feel like thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is happy June. Happy is the theme for June, and we thought of you.
Well,
so
and that just makes me so happy.
You
I'm
make
so
us
lucky.
Happy.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
The Inspired Woman podcast is sponsored by Quantum Productions. the home of the award-winning director and cinematographer Nolan Johnson. He creates unique high-end video products throughout the Midwest. You can check him out at quantumprond.com.